Okay, you guys. Well, welcome. Good morning. Thank you to everyone who's shown up. We are so grateful. We really want to express this. Truly and genuinely, we're so grateful that you're here. We love this sport. We love this home that we found in Chase Field. We love you guys in this Phoenix community, and we're really excited to share some good news with you today. So, my name is Kennedy Riggs. I'll be walking you through the little press conference for today. I am what's called the voice from the dirt here at the Hondo Rodeo. So, I get to interview these winners when they bring home big checks, take you through the show. I actually grew up here in Arizona. I'm a sixth-generation Arizonan, so I'm more than ecstatic that we're here at Chase Field. I grew up going to these baseball games, so very fun to see a rodeo making its home here. A couple years ago, I represented as Miss Rodeo Arizona, so I'm very passionate about this state. And then I went on as Miss Rodeo America, getting to rub shoulders with some of these great people up here. And now I make my way around the rodeo road as a sideline reporter. So I'm very, very thankful to be here, and also thankful to introduce you to some more exciting people that are up here on this stage. So starting right here, one of my favorite people, James Trawick, the CEO of the Hondo Rodeo Fest, former professional cowboy at that as well. He knows exactly what he's doing. I'm telling you that right now. We have Cord McCoy right next to him, his partner in crime, the president of the Hondo Rodeo, professional bull rider, stock contractor. And then we go down the line and bring ourselves to the world champions. These are past Hondo champions as well, some of these guys. Jacob Lees, he won the bareback riding last year. He's also very renowned in the rodeo world. Indian world champion. He's been to the NFR quite a few times. John Crimber's next to him. He's very well known in the PBR world. His dad is one of the biggest legacy makers in the PBR, and now he's making his own history. Then we have Tuff Cooper, same thing, great family legacy, and he's paving his own way, very renowned in the rodeo world. And then we have Lisa Lockhart, the winningest barrel racer in WPRA history, one of my favorite idols that I look up to, so it's fun to be up here with her. And Shane Hanchy down there, the Cajun King, we call him, a tie-down roper and very renowned in the rodeo world as well. National finals qualifiers up here, world champions, so you guys have the best of the best to hear from, and we're really excited to milk that out. So, without further ado, we have a lot of exciting things to get to, but like we like to do in the rodeo world, we start with a prayer. So we're going to start with an invocation by our CEO, James Trawick.
Y'all pray with me. Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for all that you blessed us with to find ourselves in this moment in time. Lord, we just ask that you be with us this weekend as we compete, and I just ask that you keep everyone safe. Lord, I just ask that you also help the animal athletes and everyone on the stage and everyone that is yet to be here, help us to compete at the top of our game. Lord, we love you so much. We invite you into the process and ask that you help us glorify you and all we do this weekend. In your name we pray. Amen.
Okay, and as I take this microphone back, I'm actually going to toss it right back over to James. He's going to give you a little introduction and talk about why we're so excited to be here at Chase Field.
Well, we're so excited to be here. This is year 2. Last year, we kicked the door down on the concept of the Hondo Rodeo Fest, and big thank you to everyone with the Diamondbacks and helping us create that opportunity to see this vision come to life, and then also, to these athletes for coming and competing and providing the best performance that rodeo has to offer. That's something that sets us apart when it comes to rodeo. It's quite literally the best of the best. What we've done is we've distilled it down to the best 8, with the exception of bull riding, we take 12. But the idea is that every single ride, every single run, we offer the best. Like if you buy a ticket to go to the Phoenix Suns like we may do later tonight, you know that you're getting to see the starting 5, and that's something that we've got to improve upon from the perspective of rodeo in the way that we deliver our sport to the fans. And so at the Hondo, it's our mission to bring that quality every single ride, every single run. And so we're extremely thankful to the D-backs for saying yes. We reached out. They had never done an event like this before, and we submitted a request and worked through all the logistics of putting this event on, and we said, well, what? We're going to bring dirt and do a rodeo here, and they said yes, and they gave us a shot, which allowed us this opportunity. So huge thank you to the team, the family. They really do feel like family, and they really do partner with us in everything that we do to try to make this possible. But this idea began, Blake, Cody, and I, sitting here up front, we put this idea together and ultimately wanted to create something that brought the best of rodeo and married it with the best of music, and thus the Hondo Rodeo Fest. And it truly takes a village to put this thing together. And Cord McCoy sitting right here runs everything from the rodeo perspective, and we've got Brad Hughes up front and Bob Coker in the back, and Mark Shukin somewhere. I don't see him, but he's here in the back. There we go. And Jason Rittenberry running all things stage and sound, and many, many more that I need to list, but we don't have time for. So I just want to say thank you to each and every one of them, because without them, this doesn't get set up on time or in the right way, and it takes a team. So I'm excited to be here. I'm excited for the news that we're going to share with you guys in a little bit, but anyway, thank you all. Thank you for being here.
And I want to talk about the family and partnerships that you just touched on. There are a lot of great partnerships within this room. So talk about some of the exciting people that are here with us right as we speak.
Yeah, we've got Cowboy Lifestyle Network, we have the Mexican Consulate, we have Telemundo, an Arizona family, and a lot of people that were strategic partners in helping us get the word out. Our sponsor partners, and I'm not going to list all those off, but they play a key role in helping us with delivering the message to the community and also championing what we stand for when it comes to Western culture. So thank you all for being here too. Without you guys, we don't fill this place up, which, by the way, we pretty much have. We've got a couple more days to sell some tickets, but it's really cool to sit here from this perspective and look at how massive that stadium is and know that that upper deck is completely sold out. And the bottom deck is almost there as well. So we're really excited. From last year, kicking the doors down, creating the first look at this concept, the city of Phoenix has responded so well. And now that they understand, last year, we showed up and we said, we're going to bring a rodeo. It's going to be the best. Trust us. And now we're here, right? We showed them what we could do last year, thanks to the athletes coming and putting on some of the best performances of their lives. And the city responded, and so we're excited to be back and put on the best rodeo. Also, there was something else I wanted to say. You brought up earlier just partnerships and people that help you guys. Like, there's a core team that produces this event, and there are so many vendors, there's so many contractors that work with us that are going to be outside on the street fest, from security guards to the people that are selling you popcorn. And without the culture that the Diamondbacks have established, you don't get the great experience of the Hondo without that. And so we really could not be here without the Diamondbacks and creating the best experience that rodeo has to offer without that partnership. So I just want to say that again. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, reiterating that. We are so thankful for Chase Field. This is such a wonderful place to kick all of this off. The first year was such a success, and we're ready to come back bigger than ever this year for just the second year. So excited. And I'm going to have you pass the mic on to Cord here. Let's talk about the rodeo side of things. So, Cord, I'm going to give him more of a proper introduction here. Let me just list off a little bit of his resume, okay? He might look familiar to you. You've probably seen him on TV. He made an appearance on Amazing Race with his brother Jet, who you will also see picking up in the arena this weekend. Very well-rounded guys, if I do say so myself. So you might recognize him for that, but you also might recognize him because he is a world champion himself. IPRA world champion 5 times, NFR qualifier, 6-time PBR world finalist, and now a stock contractor and producer. So if anyone's unfamiliar with those terms, he produces the bulls that we're going to be seeing bucking in the arena this week. So we're very excited about that. And beyond all of that, he's a husband and a girl dad just like James is too. So great family guys here. Cord, touch on the rodeo a little bit and how that's been putting this all together.
Well, I got to go back to Chase Field. I remember the first time that we walked in here, I was just like you guys. I was in awe of, like, wow. What a facility to be able to share rodeo with the rest of the world in a location like this. For me, my dad, he was a rodeo guy, so I grew up in rodeo. Been around it my whole life. I got a full ride scholarship to college to be on a rodeo team, and that was my career. That was my lifestyle. Was rodeo, and after retiring, I started doing some stock contracting, producing events. I don't think it really hit me that much until after the Amazing Race, because the Amazing Race, you go around the world and you share different locations and different experiences with everybody else on TV of what they do in South America and China and how their way of life. It's part of the race, but it's what you do. But if, the first thing you do is you get home and say, we're cowboys. We've got the coolest life in the world. And I took it on myself as a responsibility to share those experiences and to share our lifestyle with the rest of the world. And you start chipping away at that and producing events. So when Blake and James called me and told me this idea, of course we fight for the Cowboys. We want to we want to give them over $1 million to compete for in a stage like this. The stars kind of just aligned for us to share rodeo with a lot of fans that know nothing about rodeo. We can share our lifestyle. We have great media partners as well to show our way of life and what it means to be a cowboy or a cowgirl. I have a 7-year-old daughter, so we take so much pride in that as well. So the opportunity was set right in front of us, and I was just like everybody else. I sat there Saturday night and look up thinking that we're fixing to give cowboys and cowgirls over $1 million. We've got over 30,000 people on their feet cheering for our way of life and what we do, and we have the microphone to tell our story and what we are and what we stand for, and what's important to Cowboys. I mean, I know it boils down to the competition in the arena. And if the media has never walked down on the arena floor, if you've been in Rome and been in the Coliseum to stand there, that's what it feels like to stand on that arena floor. It's amazing to look above you and to think that 40,000 people are fixing to be cheering for you as soon as you give a slight head nod to open the gate. It's an amazing experience, not counting just the money. But we have the opportunity to tell our story, and I feel so thankful that I get to be a small part of that. We continue to talk about the team. The only thing I get to do is kind of write some things down. And you talk about first year last year, you have the friend list that you've been working on for 40 years, and you call every one of those guys, and you call out the friends that I need you here, I need help. We need steel, we need dirt, we need competitors. When you talk about the livestock that comes in here, we've got livestock from Wyoming, Montana, Texas, Arkansas, and the best of the best in the business. But we also kind of keep it closed enough. When you only have 8 competitors, you can call all 8 of them and say, hey, what's going to make the best performance for 40,000 people? You're going to compete for $1 million. What is going to make the best competition for you guys? So we definitely kind of pick it apart of, what is the best of rodeo, and let's bring it to town.
So, Cord, let's back up to that. The best of rodeo, right? This is the best of the best. This is the future of the sport, truly. It's groundbreaking for this sport in this industry. So talk about what's different about the Hondo, especially in your experience having been literally all over the world in rodeo.
Well, the cool thing about making it invitation only to start off with, of course, we would invite the gold buckles. The reigning world champion was the first thing that we did. And when we start digging into it further of what they've done the last 2 years, what's their lifetime earnings, what they've done in the last decade. So when you're saying that you want the best in rodeo, you're not just looking at one list and one standings. But the good thing after you have a couple of years in, we got a couple gold buckles, and you have reigning Hondo champions to invite. I mean, they already have their spots. You don't have to do very much to look around to fill up those other 8 spots. You talk about John Crimber down there. You have the PBR and the PRCA. And we take 12 bull riders, so you can kind of shop the world for the best of the best. We have several Brazilians, Australians have been invited. You're not tunneling yourself to one pick. You get to pick from the world and send the invite out. So I like the style, but we continue to grow.
And speaking of continuing to grow, we have a couple of new additions to this year, making it bigger and better. And in the rodeo realm, one thing that's very traditional to see at a rodeo is having a rodeo queen to represent you, kind of a PR, the face of the rodeo, if you will. And we are lucky enough to have a Miss Rodeo Hondo this year. So talk about that. Our cute Miss Rodeo Hondo sitting back there. Maybe give yourself a little wave.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. And, you talk about other people that have never seen rodeo and give them that experience. And I think the tradition of rodeo and what it is. And again, I have a 7-year-old daughter, so when she grows up, she wants to be a rodeo queen. So that's very important. But when all the other guys are competing, we have a face and a voice for the Hondo rodeo. So I love the idea, and to have somebody out front to be a face for rodeo for us.
I love that. Okay, let's talk to some more faces of rodeo. Let's have Lisa grab a microphone. I'm going to come to you first, Lisa. So Lisa won the barrel racing last year. It was such a cool story with her and her horse. She even teared up as I was interviewing her. Talk about that moment and what the Hondo means to you now coming back for a second year in a row.
Oh, gosh. I mean, for starters, it was such an amazing event. I mean, being in this building and just the whole venue, it's so unique. And, anytime there's something new like this, we all as contestants we're like, how hard is this going to be to pull it off? And there's always so many growing pains, and I can't even imagine what this crew went through to make this happen, because especially doing it in the city and in stadiums like this. So it was just super cool. But the other thing is like you were talking about, the best of the best. I mean, it was one of the most spectacular rodeos, from start to finish. And so, and any time that you can have success at a place like this, and especially where it was the first inaugural event, I mean, it's just so unique, and it was so thrilling to be here, to be a part of it, and the success that the whole event was just phenomenal.
Let's go to John now. So John is not even 21 years old, and to have a resume like him,
I am tonight. Or this weekend, sorry.
he's a stinker. We'll keep him in line. But seriously, to have a resume like this at such a young age, you've been all over the world already, right? In this rodeo PBR realm even, right? But here to be at the Hondo, we were just talking about how neat this is for you at such a young age. So what does this kind of opportunity mean for you, especially with this money that's up for grabs?
This is awesome, to be here in this venue with these type of athletes. It's going to make us ride better for sure. And I was telling them earlier, I don't get to experience the rodeo, world a little bit. It's more just bull riding. So to be here with top guys like Tuff, and Lisa, Jacob, it's pretty cool, to be here. And I'm really excited to kick it off tomorrow, and it's going to be a great time.
Now, Jacob, I'm going to come to you. Jacob just welcomed his first baby into the world less than a month ago, and he's made the sacrifice to leave them at home to come to this rodeo. So talk about why that's so worth it with an opportunity like this.
Yeah, we do this for a living, so anytime we can go out there and make some money and good money at a place like this, you gotta leave, even if I don't want to.
And we know he means that too. We were talking about that a bit ago. But Tuff, you're also a family man. You've got a wife and a family too. And speaking of that family, a lot of family legacy. So you've been a lot of cool places, but you too were just talking about how neat it is for you to have this opportunity to be here in such a big stage with so many people to watch you calf rope. So talk about that and maybe some of those emotions that you feel running through your veins as you're getting ready to go.
Oh my goodness, my blood's pumping right now thinking about it. We are having a rodeo downtown Phoenix in the Diamondbacks ballpark. This is the coolest thing. It's one of the biggest milestones of rodeo, and it takes so much work, so many people to put on the event, as they're explaining that as competitors, we get to show up and compete and live our dream at a level that we couldn't even dream about when we were kids. And now it's possible, and the future of rodeo's watching, and they're going to be working extra hard, I promise, because I would if I was a kid. And I think it's so important to have our CEO and our president at competitors themselves, because they're looking to check all the boxes off, because we all stand here and love, as I'm passionate right now emotionally about being a cowboy and getting to live this life.
I second that 100%. Aren't we so lucky to have these guys at the top of this rodeo? Everyone involved. This team's amazing. And Shane, I'm going to end with you here. I remember specifically you talking last year about what a great experience it was for you and your family being here in Phoenix. So talk about this community and maybe what you're looking forward to doing this year.
Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to hit on was, we rodeo for a living. We go to, a lot of different rodeos, and a lot of times it's not exactly, easy with the family, but I had a young, he's a year and a half now. He didn't make it this year, but they're at home, and they came last year, and it was so easy, to get in and around, and the staff and everybody at the Hondo was willing to do whatever it took to make it easy for us. And I'm a lifelong sports fan, so being able to rope down here at this kind of venue, I am an Astros fan, but now I do follow the Diamondbacks.
Cut the cameras, you guys. Thank you so much, Shane. And okay, we've talked a lot about rodeo, as we all would like to continue doing so. But for sake of time, let's talk about the music side of things. James, we have so many exciting things in the lineup this year, a lot still to come. So touch on that, maybe some of the talent and artists we're looking forward to welcoming into Chase Field.
Yeah. This year we've got Nickelback and Treaty Oak Revival to kick things off the first night. Like I said, tickets are basically gone. Phoenix market has responded really well to that. We're so excited. Blake, Cody, and Jason Kane put together our our bill every year, our acts, and we were talking about who we're going to book, and they came to us and just, hey guys, what do we think about rock and roll? And it was a really easy yes, because I know you and most people probably, went through this phase where Nickelback was really cool, and then you maybe didn't like Nickelback and you got on that train. But I was one that just loved it. We rocked out to Nickelback, and it's going to be fun. They put on an electric show, and the feeling of the difference between rock and country, I think this weekend is set up perfectly, because right out of the gate, we're going to punch you in the face with some epic music, and then we're going to wind things down and have a good time with Jason Aldean and Riley Green on Sunday. But Blake Cody and Jason Kane put together all the music for us, and they've got some really exciting things in store for the future of what we're going to do next year here at Chase Field and some other markets that we're going to get to in a little bit. But one thing I wanted to go back to on rodeo, you said professional competitor when you were introducing me, and I just want to kind of set the record straight that though I did pursue that, I didn't hold a candle to these guys and gals over here. I just really wanted to bad, all right? Like I really, really wanted to compete, and I wanted to play the game. And ultimately, business is what we had to get involved in to stay as close to it as possible. So you said that, and I'm so thankful that you did. But the contestants that compete in this game every single day are so special, because they have to be good fathers, they have to be good mothers, and yet they still have to stay on the road every single weekend. And part of our mission in understanding those concepts and also participating in those roles is creating a solution for that, creating an opportunity for these athletes to be home more, to be around their kids and their families more, but then also create an environment where those families are welcome to participate in our shows. And so that's just something that we want to point out that's very important to the future of the Hondo.
I do want to point out, I mean, I've witnessed it myself. He's a great team member, you guys. You want to be healing for this guy. But I am going to go back to the rodeo side of things, right? So we're really excited for everything that we have lined out this year. And James, you've touched on a lot, but let's also talk about how when you put something together of this size and magnitude, it's inevitable that you'll encounter maybe some bumps in the road. And this year you did, maybe with Cody Johnson having to go get that surgery, but talk about how well your team handled that and maybe your priorities and how that helped.
Yeah, it was a bit ironic. We were actually in the car coming from, headed to Texas to Cody Johnson's charity golf tournament. And I got the call from Blake. He said, "Are you sitting down?" I said, "Yes." What in the world are we going to do? He laid the news on me, and, unfortunately, medical emergencies happen. It's just part of life. And something that I'm thankful for in this moment and in that experience is just the pressure that it applied to our organization. It showed us areas where we could improve, and it showed us ways that we were really fundamentally strong. And so our team banded together, and it gave us an opportunity to grow and learn. And so for the challenge, for the pressure, I'm really grateful. But ultimately, we responded to Cody's camp, so hopefully you guys can navigate the situation and heal quickly and heal completely. And we covered them in a lot of prayer and got back to work. We were playing golf at the tournament, working on who we were going to replace it. Blake's in one cart, I'm in another, and literally in between a divot after divot after divot after hitting the tree, we made all the phone calls and ultimately landed Kid Rock, which is unbelievable. Huge blessing that Kid Rock was available, and obviously he loves rodeo, and so we're so thankful for that. But the show goes on, and it's just kind of part of it. But the perseverance of our team is what I'm most proud of in that moment.
I second that. I'm so proud of this team. I'm proud to be a part of it. But let's talk about, we've talked a lot about what's happening inside of Chase Field. Let's talk a bit about what's happening maybe outside of it for people outside of the Phoenix area or for people wanting to hang out before the rodeo starts. The Stillery Street Fest is coming back this year better than ever. A lot of food, brand activations, clothes, shopping, so much to do for anyone of any age. And a lot of exciting things on that front. But then let's talk about our media partnerships, because people that are outside of the state can still take part in this experience.
That's right. All 3 rounds are going to be live streaming from YouTube. And then Sunday we have our wonderful partners in Arizona Family through a few formats with them, and then also Telemundo. So locally we're going to have a lot of distribution and then digitally streaming through YouTube. So go to our YouTube page, subscribe to the channel. There's going to be a lot of material coming out this year. We're going to invest heavily in content, telling stories of the athletes and the stories of the communities that surround these facilities that are involved in agriculture. There's a lot of material coming, and I hope you guys follow along for all of that. But yeah, tune in. It's going to see it live. Go to YouTube, and then Sunday we're putting on the big show on cable here and also YouTube.
Thank you. And speaking of big things, I know you all came here for a big announcement that we are so excited to make. So without further ado, Jordan, cue the video announcement.
For 3 days, the top 1% of rodeo athletes compete for their piece of $1 million purse. Over 90,000 people take over Phoenix, Arizona. And this April, the Hondo is bringing the experience to you. New Orleans, get ready. The Hondo has arrived. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. New Orleans, we're coming for you. It's going to be an epic spring down at the Superdome. Mr. Hanchy won the tie-down roping last year, the king of the Cajuns, and we figured what better place to take the Hondo than the New Orleans Superdome. Those people are an incredible people. We love our Arizona family, but we're so excited to partner with the people of New Orleans. Governor Jeff Landry's been incredible, opening doors, helping us with connections in the corporate realm with businesses that are partnering with us and supporting us. And similar to Arizona, they have welcomed us with open arms and been incredible partners so far. And so we're excited to let the world know that this April, the $1 Million Rodeo is going to the New Orleans Superdome.
Yeah, guys, you can give a round of applause again. Pretty worthy of it, right?
Let's go.
Well, like we've been talking about, I think it's pretty apparent it takes a village, to say the least, to put on something like this, and that includes a great community. So let's talk about Louisiana, how welcoming they've been to you. People like the State of Louisiana, Legends Global, the Louisiana Stadium and Exhibition District, and the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation.
Yes, when you show up in a city, you've got to figure out where you're going to host everyone in the way of hotels. You've got to figure out what the marketing channels are. You have to figure out who your vendors are going to be. Those facilities have great established relationships, and so opening up those doors and introducing us to the right people that have been great partners of the Pelicans and of the Saints, and they really paved the way for us to expedite that process. If you show up blind, there's a lot of mistakes that you can make in partnering with the wrong organizations, and so we're ultimately just extremely grateful to everyone you just listed off about leading us in the right direction when we arrived in New Orleans, and we're just excited about that partnership because outside of the New Orleans area, there's a lot of agriculture happening, a lot of beef cattle being raised and row crops being farmed, and it's all over the state of Louisiana. We've been out to Baton Rouge and we've been to Shreveport and doing our homework on what it's going to be like to take our event to that city and trying to understand what the culture and the heartbeat of the Cajun community is all about. And I can promise you there's going to be really good food and a lot of great live music outside, and we're excited for that. So anyway, without those partners, we don't step up to a new facility and hit a home run like we do. So hats off. Thank you to everyone in New Orleans for all that you've done already.
Now, that being said, with our big announcement, Cord has an announcement of his own to make.
Well, that's tricky. That's a whole nother story. No, the thing about it, we talk about the decade of competition and how the guys get to the Hondo, the gold buckles and the lifetime earnings that gets them here. But I am proud to announce that all of the 2024 Hondo winners are automatically invited to New Orleans. So congratulations, guys. You guys are invited. The other invite is the 2025 Hondo champions get an invite over there. So you guys can earn their way to New Orleans right here this weekend. So congratulations and best of luck to everyone.
All right. I have to piggyback on that, you guys. I have to hear how you guys are feeling about this. Shane, let's go right to you, the Cajun King. This is your backyard, your stomping grounds, if you will. What are you thinking right now?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I've been to the Superdome. I can't even count how many times to watch the Saints or LSU in the national title games, and to be able to think about roping, putting on a rodeo in that place, in that environment, right in the peak of crawfish season in April. And so I know I'm so excited about it. I can't wait to get there and do whatever I need to do to show that Louisiana has great rodeo competitors and great rodeo fans. Like he said, he alluded to. A lot of people overlook Louisiana, but man, we've got some pretty dang good cowboys down there, and they sure love the rodeo and love what rodeo's about and love what being a cowboy means. And to be able to think about going to New Orleans is I never would have thought it when I was, I wish I was John's age instead of mine, but the opportunities are about to be endless because of this crew right here that started right here at the Hondo, and I'm on board for whatever I need to do, and I'm excited and looking forward to being in New Orleans.
All right, Lisa, let's hear from you, girl. Being a 2024 Hondo champion, you just found out right now you have your ticket punched to go to New Orleans. What are you thinking?
This is so exciting, and it's so invigorating. I've been in this business a long time, and so anytime you have these opportunities, like it's just, I don't know. I mean, I don't normally get so excited about certain rodeos or whatever, but I am so excited about places like this, the Hondo, and getting to go do something else. And I know Cord talked about it in the past about maybe having more, but here a year later we get this announcement, and so now stop number 2. Like, this is amazing. So thank you all that have a part in making this happen. It's exceptional.
Okay, let's have Tough. I want him to chime in on this. Tough, this lights a fire under your rear to do really dang well in this arena this weekend. So what are you thinking of? What kind of scheming are you doing right now to make your game plans?
Yeah, this is win or go home. I want to win and go to New Orleans. This is awesome. Yeah, forever grateful for this whole crew. Yes, ma'am.
Now, John, I know that you are the king of making the best of your experience no matter where you go. Last night, by the way, he got in on a late flight, went straight to Tate McRae's concert, just to let you guys know. So you know he's going to make the most of it. Are you ready to eat some crawfish? Because I think that New Orleans isn't ready for you.
Dang right. I'm going to go over there with Shane. Can we get some jambalaya or something? Get some good crawfish. That's what I want. Perfect. Yeah, that's where we're going.
Oh, no.
I'm excited. I've never rode in Louisiana before, actually. So to go somewhere like where the Saints play, I think it's gonna be awesome, and hopefully we can go have a great old time over there.
Well, Jacob, I want to hear from you too because your newborn is so fresh. Your wife and baby weren't able to be here, but I think that April's probably safe to say they might be able to make the cut. So what kind of family experience does that sound like to you?
Yeah, that's going to be a super, super great experience. That might be her first rodeo, and to come to something like this, but over there in Louisiana, which isn't too far from home, that'll be something else for her to experience.
You guys, we are so excited. I'm so glad that you are all here to hear this first. You really are the first to know. So consider yourselves lucky. We consider ourselves lucky to be a part of this. Now I want to open it up to questions and answer for you guys. Do you guys have any questions you'd like to ask? Anyone up here on the stage, this is your opportunity, prime time, to ask from the source, straight from the horse's mouth, these contestants as well as the executives. So we'll open it up. Yeah. So he says, talent-wise in New Orleans, are we able to say yet what do we have on the plate?
We are not going to announce that today. Can't give it all to you at once, brother. What I can say is it's going to be one of the biggest shows you've ever heard of. Blake and Jason have been working really, really hard on that lineup, and it'll blow your socks off when we can tell you, but we need a couple more weeks.
Got to keep you on your toes. All right, anyone else? Okay, the good news is, if you're brewing up some questions right now and you're not ready yet, we're still going to keep everyone here on short leashes. You can catch them for interviews, pictures, whatever you need. Please take advantage of this opportunity because today is like no other. We want you to enjoy the rodeo while you're there. So today's your opportunity to get all the content that you need, any articles, pictures, whatever you need. We are here to help you. We also have a great experience out here. I heard there are horses up here on the deck. Is this true? So that's a great photo op. You can rope the dummies, go down and check out the arena, make yourselves at home. We're just excited to have all of you here. I do want to let you guys know that we will be sending you guys the press release video, the official New Orleans video that we just watched, as well as the link to this press conference that we will be streaming on YouTube, okay? So thank you guys all so much for coming. I just want to say, oh, we do have a question back there. Jordan.
James, you're having people, we're seeing people that are flying to Phoenix for this event, which is economic impact.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit more about the benefits that you're seeing for these host cities that are bringing, because it's not just ticket sales locally. You're seeing people that are, I know, Canada, California, back east. There's people that are coming from all over. How does that impact the economic growth in a city for hosting you guys?
Yeah, I'd say that's one of the most beautiful things about the music. You know, you mentioned Canada as a reference, but that's been a really interesting thing for us because of Nickelback, right? They're from Canada, and so a lot of Canadians really love rodeo. Calgary Stampede has been one of the biggest mainstays in our sport for a long time, among others. But yeah, it is 100% a huge driver for the tax base in any market that we come to. You know, right now we're just over 82,000 tickets, right? And a large portion of that are coming from outside 2 and 3 hours away, some from LA, some from Las Vegas. People are flying in from Seattle, Texas. A lot are coming from the Northeast, and a lot are coming from Canada. When we went on sale, there was a flood of outreach for the pre-sale period because of Nickelback. And so, yeah, when we go to New Orleans, the same will be true. You know, we'll reach a little further east. We'll pull people from up on the eastern coast. So it is a huge driver for the economy when you can bring together in the ballpark of 100,000 people in a weekend, the majority of them coming from out of town. You fill up hotels. Mr. Bob Coker is been overseeing our hotel blocks for us and our partnerships with those hotels, and he can attest to the sheer number. We've added, I think last year we had 2 host hotels, and now we have 4 or 5, and 6. Yeah, we're up to 6 now. We've filled up 6 hotels, and that's, you know, a testament of how, to your point, how many people are coming from out of town. So great question.
Did that spark any other ideas of other questions in the crowd? Okay. Oh, yes.
So for the athletes who have participated in Calgary and Houston and now the Hondo, you came back for a reason. What is so, I mean, I know the Hondo is awesome because the people who created it, but you've been from the best of the best. Is the Hondo up there with the best of the best, and why are you back?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, for sure. The Hondo for us, I mean, obviously we really love the Hondo because most of us are returning champions, but even if it wasn't for that, just the venue itself, the money is great, but, you know, kind of what we look for now is like you guys that are putting it on and easy access and wanting our ideas to help make it better. And instead of thinking, you know, well, we've put on a rodeo before, we know how to handle all the little things in the arena, to where, like Cord was saying, asking, you know, the bull riders what bulls they want, and asking us what kind of calves we want to rope to make it a show for everybody. And so I just think that with that, I mean, it makes it jump up to the top of the list for us. I mean, obviously, now going to New Orleans, that's probably going to be my number one, but Hondo's going to be at the top of the list.
I actually am going to pose a question. Tuff, I'm going to have you answer this one. You all have been down the road, but I want to hear this from you. So historically speaking, I will give a little bit of context here. If you're going to cowboy professionally, then you are hopping around, to say the least, okay? So you don't find yourself in the same zip code within a few days of each other, right? So what does it feel like to be in the same bed, same hotel room, same city for a longer period of time? Does that help you in your competition and performance?
This can be the new normal for me, for sure. It's so much fun. It is awesome to be able to, you know, get proper rest, to have your horse have proper rest and have proper preparation. So, yeah, we are thrilled.
Well, I never won Calgary, Houston, Fort Worth, Salinas, San Antonio like these guys, but I have rode at all of those locations. So you have the experience, and what is the best of the best for these guys. And, you know, and back in the day, you'd have you have to get on 3 head in the long round in Cheyenne and then come back in the third one. And whether if you're a fan, you might see Tuff, and you might see whoever else that day. And whatever the concert is that night, to say that every night we're going to have the elite competing, you know, for that amount of money that night. It's no maybe. You might get to see the best ones. So we get a very broad area to look at the best, who is the best in the standings, who is the best the decade-wise, and we guarantee it every night. And instead of, not that they did it so wrong somewhere else, but lump sum that first place wins $1 million and second wins nothing, we try to make it as good because, 7-6 wins the KF Open, 7-7 was second, 7-8 was third. So we get to pay it out like we're a competitor ourselves. And again, we turn around and ask these guys, you got to beat the best 7 competitors in the world to win a check. So a lot of different ways you look at it as an athlete, and you look at the other side as a stock contractor. And I've produced a lot of rodeos, so you look at it as a producer. You look at it as TV. So there's a lot of different angles that you're looking at the same rodeo in, but we also keep it simple. You put your hat on and make it good.
I swear this is my last question, I promise. Jacob talked about it. I heard Shane talk about it. I don't know of another rodeo in the world that includes the contestants on what animals to bring. And letting them have a say on what they're going to be competing on, and you being a stock contractor, but from where I see, can you describe the culture of the Hondo? Because that to me feels like a byproduct. You guys are trying to bring in experts, you're listening to expert opinions, and so for the first time that I've ever witnessed, you're actually bringing the contestants in almost as a partner instead of just assigning them whatever you feel like giving them. Can you talk about the decision to include them in that?
Yeah, I'll give my side first and the other. I mean, we literally get the invites, or at least half the invites out there, and like, okay, well, let's shop some stock contractors. Who has the best bareback horses? Let's go around, and then we'll gather us up, 7 different stock contractors. We'll ask those stock contractors, send us a roster that you would send to Phoenix, and then we present that roster to the contestants. Then we get on a conference call and let's start picking them apart of what we want. We want to set the rounds. This year, I know we started for Sunday this TV. Let's stack that TV pin, and I call it the TV pin for Sunday, and work our way backwards to they get on the best 8. And like I said earlier, they come from Wyoming, Montana, Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma, the different states that those animals come in, which all the bucket stock are already into town. We do award top stock awards. We did last year. I know Diamond G won the top bareback horse. Sammy Andrews from Texas won top bronc, and Blue Duck won the bull riding. But we start with a long roster, and we let those 8 guys get on and say, if you're running your hand in the rope for $1 million, what do you want to get on? I mean, because they're the ones that have to do it for 8 seconds in front of 40,000 people.
Yeah, that's super important to us to be able to kind of screen those horses and screen the animals that we're going to get on, because that's our dancing partner to try to go ahead and make some money. And half the score comes from the animal that you're getting on. So just having a good feeling going into it, knowing that I've got a good chance just as much as the next guy, means the world to us.
I want to pose a question. I'm going to come down to Lisa. Historically speaking, another thing traditionally in rodeo that's kind of tricky is there's uneven payouts for each rodeo event. So for the cowgirls, sometimes they get the short end of the straw, but here at the Hondo, you get the same chance for the same check as the boys. How does that feel in the barrel racing and breakaway to have that same opportunity financially?
Oh, without a doubt, that equal opportunity. And, I think more than anything, too, like they were discussing, how it's not just so top-ended and with the payouts and everything. And I think everything comes back to everybody that is behind this and producing this. They've been there and they've done this. They know what it's like to be, from the athlete side of it, and they have done more than I can ever even, talk to you guys about to accommodate the athletes. Like I said, whether they're asking us questions or things like that, because they understand the importance of trying to elevate the athlete, and that's not always the case. And so hats off to these people, because they are doing it exceptionally well.
And you know what, piggybacking off of that, we've talked quite a bit about this opportunity and how much it changes the game physically for you guys, because rodeo is a very physically tolling sport. So whether for you rough stock riders, it's very tolling on your bodies, or whether you have a world-class athlete under your saddle, you have to be very strategic about how many rodeos you're entering, and historically speaking, you're entering a lot to stay afloat financially. So for a rodeo like this to pay so much money, how much does that change the game to prolong your career as a rodeo athlete?
With that being said, we're here for 3 days. I mean, it was a long drive out here to the desert for me from South Dakota. but it was well worth the drive because I'm here for 3 days. You know, obviously the money is always something that is a precursor for us as to where we're going to enter and what we choose to go to, and it was a no-brainer. You know, to come here even last year not knowing, like I looked at it and I looked at the setup, I looked at, you know, the format and, you know, just everything about it, and I'm like, you know, I'm going to do this. And, you know, and it is a little bit intimidating sometimes when it's a first, you know, event of ever. But, you know, I don't know. It was just that feeling like this is going to be good, and it surpassed our expectations for sure.
One thing I'd like to add to that is, you know, to your point about the ladies competing in barrel racing and breakaway, you know, it's important for us as, you know, Cord's a father to Tulsa, and I've got 2 baby girls, and you think about the sport, you think about, you know, what the sport represents to the next generation. So for us, it was a huge priority to set the standard that way, because every single night that this event goes on, there's a whole new batch of young people that are going to get to witness these people compete and become fans for life, and maybe try to pursue competing like they did. And so, you know, at the end of the day, it's our mission to help continue to perpetuate this thing that we stand for, this thing that we're so proud of, and that's a huge part of it. You know, as a father, but then as a business leader and promoter, you know, those are some really key things that I wanted to point out, because like Miss Lisa said, you know, for the ladies in the barrel racing, but then also to the breakaway. You know, there's, as a stat from last year, over 68% of people that came to our show were family units that were buying tickets for families, as a report from Experian. And so for us, that's a huge priority. It'll continue to be a priority as we build this, and we can't emphasize that enough.
I have a follow-up question on that for you, and any one of you sitting up here that have a good answer to this. You know, being on the inside of this industry, it's easy to see why rodeo is so valuable to this world. I think we can all agree that society has been very polarized the last handful of years. It's very common to see negative headlines in the media, as we all know, but we have so much good to offer in this industry. There's so much good that would really be of high value to the world and society. I think it truly could change the world. So for us to be catching so much momentum, especially with something like the Hondo, why? Why the Hondo? Why rodeo? And why is this so important to people outside of our industry? They're going to be sitting in these seats this week.
You know, if you ask my dad, he would tell you that he used the community of rodeo to help raise me and my sister, right? This community is a group of like-minded individuals that stand for the same principles, morals, and ethics. And at the end of the day, those are the things that we're proud to protect and to continue to carry on, right? That's what we stand for as a community. You've heard of the Cowboy Code of Ethics, right? And I think that our nation could use a lot of that these days. And, you know, I don't care if you're new to the show or you've been 100 times, wear your hat forwards, wear it backwards. I'm just glad you're here. You know, at the end of the day, what this is about is continuing to grow opportunities for communities to get together, families to get together. And so, you know, that's a huge priority for me. And, Cord, if you've got anything you'd like to add to that.
No, I mean, I think it's, again, it's a great opportunity to share rodeo. And, you know, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel here, but we have a lot of new fans, a lot of new faces that we get to share our way of life with. And, you know, the values, I feel like, come with it. And if you can't see it in their walk and their handshake and their honesty, you know, we miss something. You know, we're not trying to do something different. I will say, you know, I've been on so many conference calls with the music side of it, and I want to give them a big shout out and a thanks, because, you know, we're just you know, a bunch of cowboys trying to make a living. If I was a millionaire, I'd be in the rodeo business, and if I was dead broke, I'd be in the rodeo business. So it's not going to change my lifestyle, but these guys, just the respect that they treat, you know, us and the Cowboys, and you know, they've got Nickelback, Kid Rock, and Jason Aldean coming in there, and the Cowboys get the same vote and the same decisions as those guys. So the respect that you guys give us, you know, TriStar and the whole crew, man, we do appreciate it. We do appreciate it, and we just want to take advantage of the opportunity to have so many eyes on the West, and that we could be a good example for that.
Thank you, guys. One more. OD?
So the quality of the dirt is a big thing for the Cowboys. So I know it's been a big issue, so I assume you guys nailed it. So how's it going this round?
Oh, we definitely nailed it, 100%. Dirt is a huge part of the process. You know, these guys and gals are coming to compete on very expensive horses. And so when they show up to compete, you know, the dirt mixture and the moisture content has to be exactly precise and on point. And, you know, we put a lot of effort into making sure that it's right. And it's different in every community that you go to, because the dirt that's out here in Arizona is going to be different than what we have to use in New Orleans. And so your mixture is going to be different and your moisture is going to be different because of the humidity that's in the air down there that doesn't exist here. You know, I dry out and crack in like 30 seconds after I arrive in Arizona, so the dirt does too. But it's a huge importance to get that right for the athletes so that they have an even opportunity.
And can I add something that I learned this week? We have half a million pounds of dirt in that arena right there, over 100 truckloads, and 5 layers on top of the baseball diamond, just to make sure that we have good grounding for these animal athletes. So it's a very high priority for this team, and we're glad to have it. Do you guys know that? Does that give you a little bit of comfort? John just said that he is an animal athlete himself. Great questions. We have one right here.
Yeah, could you athletes talk about kind of weighing the risks and not just the allure of Vegas as rodeo out there, but so close to Vegas and what this means of
Yeah, I think confidence is a huge deal, huh? And so in any sport that you do, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else probably will. So that was a big deal for me last year. Just personally, I was on a new horse, and so I got to come to the Hondo and try to see how that was going to fit. And obviously, it worked out great. And then went on to Vegas and won second, you know, in the average. So this is a great, you know. I don't want to say tune-up because this is one of the best rodeos of the year. So this is a great place, a great venue. I know I'm bringing my Vegas horse this year just because of how electrifying it's going to be with the crowd and the music and the noise, and looking forward to these 3 nights. And yeah, I mean, confidence is our biggest contributor to success. So anytime we can leave somewhere and we win, I always tell people, you know, at my clinics or when we're just talking that when you're winning, you know, and things are going good, have a long-term memory. But when you're not, you know, kind of have a short-term memory and forget about it. So these next 3 nights for us that are headed to Vegas will be a little bit more of an extra emphasis to dial in the little things and get things rolling. But like I said, this is one of the top 5 rodeos of the year. So kind of looking forward to this one, not looking ahead.
So being that Kojo unfortunately had the surgery and he's out, he's not going to be roping, any chance we can get Kid Rock on a bull?
Any chance we can get Kid Rock on a bull?
Yeah, I don't know. I have to ask Kid Rock. It's fine with me. I own the bull. Yeah, not going to bother the bull at all. Yeah.
Cowboy, we got to make it happen.
Yeah, the invitation's open.
Okay, you guys, thank you so much again for being here. Like we tried to emphasize, this is truly a hinge point in history for not just rodeo, but for the world. This is going to change the world in some way, shape, or form. We're seeing it happen before our eyes, and you are here to hear these announcements firsthand. So thank you for being such a big part of this and for preserving this lifestyle we love so much. I'm going to excuse our executives and athletes here to mingle with you guys. Feel free to catch them for interviews, pictures, whatever you need, and make yourselves at home. Thanks for being here.